name is Wendy Dale. I am a Random House memoir author, and I also wrote the book, The Memoir Engineering System. I've worked with more than 500 clients over the past 17 years. Let me tell you the story of many of the people who come to me looking for help with their memoir. Let's call her Donna. Donna decides to write a memoir. A year goes by. She writes and she writes. Another year goes by. She writes, she rewrites. More drafts. Another year. 5 years go by. Then it's 10. Donna is devoted to the task of chronicling her life on the page. The project has become more and more important to her, but her book hasn't gotten any better. Donna suspects that something is wrong with her memoir, but she just can't put her finger on it. So she goes to her writing group and she asks them, but she just gets lukewarm answers, and they don't make a lot of sense. The people in her group say things like, "You need to put me there with you more. Why don't you change up your pacing? I get confused as to where we are in time." The advice is okay, but can she trust it? Donna isn't 100% convinced that it's true. And if it is, she's not sure how to fix these problems. So she decides, I'll keep writing. But now she has a new problem. She has 2,000 pages, and she doesn't begin to know how to cut this monster of a manuscript down. What is working? What is not working? Donna is so lost at this point that she just wants to throw the whole thing out. A woman in Donna's writing group recommends a developmental editor, and Donna is enthused again. Donna has her first meeting with the editor, and the advice more or less echoes the same advice she got from her writing group. But here's the real problem. The developmental editor has pointed out what's wrong with her book, but she hasn't told Donna how Donna needs to fix this problem. So Donna keeps writing, keeps turning pages into the developmental editor, all the time hoping that at some point she figures this out. A year later, after having paid thousands of dollars to the developmental editor, Donna finally realizes that her book isn't any better than it was before. If you are just starting the process of writing your memoir, I want to save you years of wasted time and frustration. And if you've been working on your memoir for years, I want to help you get it right now before you waste any more time. So, how do I know that developmental editors are not making memoirs better? Well, a few reasons. Many of my clients have worked with a developmental editor or two by the time they come to me, and their manuscript still has structural errors that editor should have caught. Another reason I know this is because in every seminar I hold, I always get attendance by coaches, developmental editors, and they are always taking notes furiously. They are charging clients money when they are still learning how to do this themselves. I'm not going to mention anyone by name, but think of the 3 most famous, well-regarded memoir coaches in the industry. I promise you that their clients have come to me after not getting what they needed from them. Does this sound frustrating? Well, it is frustrating. There is a really simple solution. Don't trust vague advice from expensive and overhyped coaches. What you need to do is to learn the concepts that go into writing a good memoir. What makes me different than everyone else out there is that I spent 15 years analyzing over 1,000 manuscripts in this quest to discover the principles that all memoirs have in common. What is it that makes good memoirs work? I was determined to figure this out. If there is anything I hate, it is the advice, just write. No, you shouldn't just write unless you actually know what you're doing. Otherwise, you're going to waste years throwing out pages that simply aren't working. I look at memoir writing like learning to play the flute. So if you wanted to learn to play the flute, what would you do? Well, you'd probably take a class or hire a teacher. You would learn the concepts that go into playing a flute. No one says to you, oh, just keep messing around and one day you'll figure out the keys. No one tells you that trial and error is going to one day get you to playing Beethoven's Fifth. It just doesn't work that way. So why do people think writing writing is this way. What makes writing a memoir so hard is that people are doing it the wrong way. They're doing this by a process of trial and error, which is ridiculous. So let me talk about 4 problems I see most frequently. The first one is that people start writing way too soon. Now, why is this a problem? So I want you to think of your memoir for just a second as a house. The writing portion of your memoir is the pretty part. It's the furniture, it's the paintings on the wall. It's what people notice. Now, here's the problem. You're busy picking out painting and furniture, but your memoir doesn't have 4 walls yet. Why? Because your memoir is lacking structure. Structure is the story that you're telling. It's the beams holding everything together. Without structure, your memoir is not going to work. Basically, you are building a house with no walls. Okay, so when I say structure, I'm not talking about big picture structure that most people envision. I'm not talking about the 3 acts of your book. What most people don't realize is that structure is present in every sentence of your memoir. Get this wrong, and your book simply won't work. Problem number 2. The second problem I see is that people don't write their memoir in the right order. When I say this, I don't mean writing page 1 before page 2. I mean the process it takes to get to a good book. As an example, you need to come up with the premise of your book before you start thinking of chronology. You need to come up with the chronology for your book before you figure out your chapters. You need to figure out your chapters before you write your first scene. If you skip any of these steps or do them out of order, your memoir simply won't work. Problem number 3. I see so many manuscripts that are written the way the author remembers things happening. The problem with this is that you need to write a book. You need to write a memoir that feels much like a novel. And what I see people doing is writing a book that seems like a diary. The cruel truth is that a stranger simply doesn't care about your life. They want a great story. They want a great book. So if what you give them feels like a chronicle of everything you lived through, they're just not going to be interested. No one is going to care. So what makes a reader love your book? Well, it needs to feel like a novel. And the only way to do this is to understand the principles of scenes and transitions, and to make sure you get these principles right. Problem number 4. People think they're doing this right, but they aren't really. There are so many people who write to me. Now, they have watched all my videos, they've dog-eared the pages of the Memoir engineering system, and they're all excited and they write and say, "Wendy, I figured it out thanks to you. I self-published my book and I thanked you in the acknowledgments." Aww. To be completely frank, it is with a little bit of dread that I look up their book on Amazon. They've thanked me in their book, which is really kind. However, they think they've gotten the concepts, but they really haven't. The truth is that I see memoir after memoir that still needs work. The concepts I teach seem deceptively simple until you start putting them into practice. It might make sense when you hear the concepts, but actually putting them into practice means getting every concept right in the right order. Test yourself by taking my memoir writing quiz. That way you'll know whether you've grasped the key concepts it takes to write a great memoir. You'll find a link in the description. Getting my system halfway right doesn't result in a good memoir. In my experience, it takes multiple tries for a client to get a concept right. People miss the point that I'm trying to get across. Or sometimes they overcomplicate it and get it wrong. I have so much information out there. But if you really want to make sure that you're applying these concepts in the right way, if you want to make sure that you are writing a book that a reader will pay money for, you might want to consider one of our coaching programs. Many of the people that we have worked with have been working on their book for 10 even sometimes more than 20 years. And they don't get their book right until they start our coaching program. So let me just tell you a few of the things you will get if you decide to sign up. You will be sure that you are applying the concepts in the right way to your memoir. You will write your book in a fraction of the time that it takes most people. You will get concrete advice so you know what to actually do, not vague tips about what you're doing wrong. You will go through a step-by-step process to ensure that you are writing a good memoir right the first time. And you will save yourself thousands of dollars by not going to a developmental editor who doesn't understand the concepts any more than you do. So, if you're still here, let me tell you just a little bit about our coaching program. So we offer 3 different types of programs. So the first one is just structure. So this is what most people struggle with. This means getting your story right, making sure you have plot. So then we have an option that is prose and structure. So you get the structure and you learn how to actually write your book. Prose refers to the writing on your pages. We also have a comprehensive You Get Everything program that we help you write your book from start to finish, and we even help you get it published. So if you're still here after my long rant, let me tell you how you can get more information. You want to sign up for a call in the link in the description of this video. So try to do this as soon as possible because we're only going to be opening up coaching calls for a week after this video comes out. After that, you're going to have to sign up on our wait list, and we'll open up a new round a couple of months from now. So even if you're not ready to start just now, go ahead and set up a call because you can set a start date later in the future. Just a little more information here. Our first plan is called the Chocolate Chip Cookie Plan. Now, I named all of our plans after desserts because who doesn't like dessert, right? So this is our basic program, the Chocolate Chip Cookie Plan. So this coaching plan focuses on structure, on making sure you have a story, on making sure you have plot, on making sure that this isn't a diary of your life. For me, structure is just not intuitive. It took me 15 years to figure it out. And that's because I was devoted to doing not much else. I think of structure like biology. Like you would never know that your cells have mitochondria. You need for someone else to give you this information. So this program is based on concepts you can learn. Structure is the logical part of the process. So a quick way to know if your memoir has structural problems. Well, if your reader is getting bored, or if they're getting frustrated or confused, if your book doesn't make sense, if it doesn't feel like a story. It's boring because it's just a bunch of stuff that happened to a person the reader doesn't know. Basically, everyone needs help with structure, and that is the basis of all of our programs. All of our coaching programs will help you structure your entire memoir. So the Chocolate Chip Plan comes with 3 months of personalized coaching, and during that time, we help you figure out the plot that will keep your reader's attention. We give you a step-by-step process to discover the plot in your book, the story that is going to keep your reader's attention. By the time you finish this program, you will have an incredibly detailed outline with perfect structure. Basically, you are going to know every chapter, every scene, and every transition it's going to take for you to write an amazing book. Option number 2 is called the Cheesecake Plan. So this is our core program, and it really teaches you everything you need to write an amazing memoir. The chocolate chip is all about structure. Cheesecake takes that structure and adds prose to the mix as well. So in chocolate chip, you outline your book. In cheesecake, we teach you how to turn that outline into the actual words that are on the page. So remember that flute analogy I gave you earlier? Well, structure is a little bit like learning to play music. And the prose is like learning to play the keys. It's actually making the music. The Cheesecake Plan teaches you both. Most writers, even experienced ones, don't really know what makes prose good. The Cheesecake Plan is going to teach you what words you actually need, sentence by sentence, paragraph by paragraph. By the time you finish the Cheesecake Plan, you'll have a full outline, and you'll have a chapter that you've written out, one that has been polished with our help. We'll even line it at the chapter for you. So once you finish the program, you should feel confident that you have all the skills it takes to spend the next 6 months finishing your memoir, writing out the book on your own. This really is our core program, and I love it because it teaches you all of the skills you need. Our deluxe coaching program is called Creme Brulee. In Creme Brulee, we help you write your memoir from start to finish. We even line edit it for you. We start by helping you create your outline, step by step. Then we teach you the concepts that go into writing great prose. We work with you to make sure that every scene and every transition has that emotional impact that keeps a reader's attention. And then we line edit your book for you. Set up a call by clicking on the link below. You'll get a sense of our current pricing plans. I can't wait to talk to you about the process of making writing a memoir so much faster, so much easier, and so much more fun. There is no program like this anywhere else. This is a systematic, step-by-step approach that allows you to write a memoir extremely quickly because you don't waste time making mistakes. I hope to meet you very soon.